The island of Garapuri, City of Caves, is situated 10 kilometers away from Bombay. The Gateway of India is a landmark of Mumbai city, and most visitors commence their trip by visiting the monument. It's situated in the waterfront in the southern part of the city. Behind the gateway, there are steps leading into the sea, where motorboats sit waiting to take the visitors on a ride to the Elephanta Islands. Elephanta Island is located 10 kilometers away from the Gateway of India. Elephanta Island is a hill settlement which is surrounded by mango, tamarind and palm trees. Its presence on the world map is due to a unique group of caves, which was identified by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site in as early 1981. Elephanta Caves constitutes one of the most striking collection of rock art in India. The appellation Elephanta was given by the Portuguese on account of their discovery of a huge sculpture of an elephant near the old landing space. The sculpture, which was in a poor state of preservation, was later repaired and installed at the Jijamata Udyan Zoo in Mumbai, known later as Queen's Garden. The rock cut architecture was established in 5th and 8th century, although the identity of the builders is still a subject of debate. The caves consists of square-shaped mandapa with 27 meters on its sides. The interior is divided into smaller areas with rows of supports. False profile beams have been carved in the roof of the cave. Shapes of the pillars, columns and the capitals are found in bonded stone architecture. As mentioned earlier, the island has two groups of caves in rock-style architecture. The caves are carved out of a solid basalt rock and cover an area of 6,000 square feet. The larger one of these two groups have 5 caves with numerous Hindu sculpture, and the second small group consists of 2 Buddhist caves with water tank and a stupa. The small island features 2 hillocks separated by a narrow valley. These hills rise to a height of about 500 feet. A deep ravine cuts through the heart of the island from north to south. On the west, the hill rises gently from the sea and stretches east across the ravine and rises gradually to the extreme east to a height of 568 feet. The main cave, or the Great Cave, is of huge dimensions. It is 38.4 meters deep and 37.8 meters wide. Rows of columns divide the hall into corridors. 24 columns supports the ceiling of the hall. At the very entrance to the cave, to the north of an esplanade, reached by the steep flight of steps, there is a high place of Shivaism, which is greeted by 2 carved panels. To the chapel on the right of the entrance stands the Lingam, which is the main object of worship in the Shiva temple. Opposite to the entrance of the south wall is a famous 3-headed statue of Shiva. The ground plan of the temple clearly indicates that the northern entrance was the principal one. It is the Linga shrine which stands facing the Nandi that is the main object of worship. The roof of the column has concealed beams supported by stone columns joined together by capitals. Cave entrance is aligned with north-south axis, unusual for a Shiva shrine, which generally has an east-west axis. The central shrine is a freestanding square cell with 4 entrances, located in the right section of the main hall. There are smaller shrines located in the east and west end of the caves. The eastern sanctuary serves as the ceremonial entrance. On each wall of the mandapa, enormous high reliefs present carvings and statues of Shiva. Carved walls of the temple portrays the scenes of Indian mythology. The chapel has 4 doors, each flanked by colossal figures, the guardians, who keep out ill-intentioned visitors. Cave 2 is located to the southeast of the Great Cave. It faces east and has a shrine at its northern end. The cave has 4 pillars and is badly damaged. Traces of sculptures still remain. The damage was caused by the heavy monsoons in the region, especially due to the resultant accumulation of water. Cave 3 is towards the south of the cave too, with 6 columns and 2 pilasters visible at the entrance. These pillars are fairly in good condition, as they have been reconstructed. The veranda is 80 meters in width and 35 meters in length. At the northern end of the veranda is a large raised chamber supported by 4 octagonal pillars and 2 pilasters. The capital of these pillars are similar to those in the main cave, though with one difference. The cushion member here looks compressed. The dimensions of the chamber are impressive. It is 11.9 meters in width and 6.7 meters in depth. The walls of the chambers are bare. Cave 4 has a similar plan to Cave 3. The veranda is 15.2 meters in breadth. Carved into the back wall are 3 cells and a linga shrine. The shrine is 5.7 meters in width and 6 meters in depth. The Dwarapalas that once existed here have now disappeared. On either side of the veranda are chambers which are 4.6 meters square in area. Each of them are supported by 2 pillars and 2 pilasters. The door of the side chamber shrines have Chaitya ornamentation. In front of these caves is a ravine that one needs to cross and ascend to a height of about 30 meters to reach the second group of 2 Buddhist caves, that is the Cave 5 and a Cave 6, which are located in the eastern hill. Cave 5 has a veranda and a shrine with a yoni and linga. Cave 6 is further up northeast and appears to be unfinished. In conclusion, the small island is dotted with numerous archaeological remains that are testimonies to its rich cultural past. These archaeological remains provide evidence of occupation from as early as 2nd century BC. The site calls for further excavations to unearth new historical material, especially on the buried stupas. This will help fill in many of the historical lacunae around this unique and inspiring monument.
Om Shanti.